The sun is relentless. Dust hangs thick in the air. And in this furnace where the temperature climbs to 40 degrees in the shade, of which there is none, hundreds of men are preparing for the most important battle of their lives. A battle for a woman's heart. Not with weapons, but with dance. Not with strength, but with beauty. Not with loud words, but with mesmerizing movements that last for hours under the scorching African sun. Welcome to the world of the Wodaabe, a nomadic people of the Sahel, where men adorn themselves like peacocks and women choose their destinies with a single touch. A people who dance against oblivion. Who are the Wodaabe? They're a subgroup of the Fulani people scattered across the vast expanses of Niger, Chad, Nigeria, and Cameroon. They are called the people of the taboo, the Wodaabe, a people who live by ancient laws where a man's beauty is more important than his wealth and a woman's will is more sacred than the traditions of her ancestors. They are nomads, herdsmen, keepers of livestock, which for them is not just a source of food, but a symbol of status, wealth, and life itself. The Wodaabe give their cows names, chosen according to their appearance. They live in symbiosis with them, understanding the language of animals better than the speech of neighboring tribes. But there is one time of year when their whole world focuses not on livestock, but on people. When the rainy season ends, when the pastures turn green and the clans scattered across the desert gather together. It's the time of Garawel, a festival that anthropologists call a unique social adaptation mechanism, allowing a nomadic society to maintain genetic diversity and social mobility. Reversing gender roles, women as judges of beauty. While most traditional societies place women in a passive role, the Wodaabe challenge these norms. Here, men must win attention. They are the objects of desire. They adorn themselves, dance, and compete. Women, on the other hand, act as judges. They observe, evaluate, and choose. And their choice is final. Even if a woman is already married, her right to choose a new partner at the festival is not questioned. This social structure, according to researchers, represents an adaptive survival strategy. In nomadic life, where groups are isolated from each other for long periods, such a system prevents inbreeding and ensures healthy offspring. The Yaka dance, the art of seduction through movement. Garawal is not just a celebration, it's a complex social ceremony that can last up to 7 days. At its center is the Yaka dance, a mesmerizing ritual where men line up and demonstrate their beauty to a monotonous chant. What do women look for in dancing men? Anthropological studies reveal clear criteria: tall stature, white teeth and eyes, and facial symmetry. The men understand this. They roll their eyes, showing the whites, smile broadly, showing their teeth, and rise on their toes, emphasizing their height. But physical beauty is only part of the formula. There is the concept of tegel, charm, which combines grace, a sense of humor, and confidence. A man who does not have a perfect appearance can compensate for this with charisma, a seductive voice, and an intense gaze. Preparation for Garawal begins weeks before the festival. This is not a hurried gathering. It's a sacred ritual, passed down from father to son for centuries. Men help each other create complex patterns on their faces, which reflect their clan affiliation and personal history. Red ochre, yellow powder from the jengori root, white dots from crushed eggshells, each color has a symbolic meaning. Blue beads made of Venetian glass, acquired on trans-Saharan trade routes, symbolize the boundless sky. White beads made of eggshells represent purity. Fabrics dyed with indigo emphasize the silhouettes of the dancers and recall the depth of the desert night. Even teeth are the object of special attention. They are cleaned with miswak roots, achieving perfect whiteness. For the Wodaabe, straight teeth are not just an aesthetic standard. They are a metaphor for order and harmony, central values of their Pulaku ethical code. Pulaku, an ethical code of beauty and dignity. Understanding the Garawal festival is impossible without knowing Pulaku, the ethical code of the Wodaabe. This ancient set of rules values modesty, semtende, patience, munyal, and loyalty, amana. For the Wodaabe, beauty is not vanity, but a social obligation. As one of the tribal elders explains, a man without beauty is like a sky without stars. He does not inspire or lead. This philosophy shapes a unique social adaptation. In the harsh desert life, where survival depends on the cohesion of the group, beauty becomes a way to maintain moral and social stability. Marriage structure, tradition, and freedom of choice. The Wodaabe marriage system represents a complex social adaptation to a nomadic lifestyle. There are two types of unions: Kobagal, marriages arranged in childhood between cousins, and Tegal, marriages of love, concluded by the choice of partners. The first type of marriage ensures social stability and the preservation of clan property. The second allows for genetic diversity and personal freedom. Garawal serves as a platform specifically for Tegal marriages. Anthropologists note that this system represents an evolutionary adaptation to the conditions of nomadic life. It allows a balance between preserving traditions and the need to adapt to changing conditions. Polygamy as a survival strategy. The Wodaabe practices polygamy. A man can have several wives. But this is not a manifestation of male dominance, but a well-thought-out survival strategy in the harsh conditions of the Sahel. In the desert, where droughts can last for years and epidemics take the lives of entire families, a large family means more working hands and more chances for the survival of the clan. Women in such families do not compete, but cooperate, sharing responsibilities for caring for children and livestock. The phenomenon of wife-stealing, a cultural interpretation. Anthropologists consider the practice of partner swapping to be one of the most amazing aspects of Wodaabe culture. If a married woman chooses a new man at Garawal, he can take her to his place. Western observers often call this kidnapping, but for the Wodaabe themselves, it's part of Pulaku, accepting change with dignity. The process can last several days. The abandoned husband may try to dissuade the new suitor, but not by force, but by persuasion. The woman gradually approaches the new partner's camp, sleeping closer each night, until she officially breaks off the relationship with her former husband. The children stay with their father. This guarantees their place in society while ensuring freedom of choice for the parents. The role of children and procreation. For the Wodaabe, children are not just offspring, they are a staff of old age. The tribe believes, a couple without children is like a tree without fruit, and they will be lonely in old age. Preference is given to boys, since girls will go to their husbands. If a family has no sons, they can adopt a nephew. The whole group will accept this, since it is about preserving the inheritance and perpetuating the family name. But the heroes of Garawal are not only men. Women judges are chosen by the elders based on their resilience and patience. They must assess not only appearance, but also charm and dancing ability of the men. The economic background of the festival. Garawal is not only a cultural event, but also an economic hub. Trade flourishes during the festival. The Wodaabe use the clan gathering to exchange livestock, the main symbol of wealth, and handicrafts. The men's preparation for the yake fuels the informal economy. Natural pigments, red ochre from Niger, yellow powder from Jongoria, are extracted on journeys hundreds of miles long and sold at high prices, reflecting their symbolic value. Anthropological significance. a window into human adaptation. Researchers see Girawal as a unique opportunity to study the mechanisms of social adaptation. Anthropologist Mette Bovin, who has studied the Wodaabe for years, notes, "The Wodaabe show that beauty and desire can coexist with respect and tradition." The festival demonstrates how nomadic societies develop complex social mechanisms to solve fundamental problems, preventing inbreeding, maintaining social cohesion, and ensuring genetic diversity. The impact of globalization and the preservation of traditions. In the modern world, the Wodaabe face serious challenges. The droughts of the 1970s and early 1980s devastated herds, forcing many to earn a living in cities or herd cattle for settled neighbors. Tourism also has a mixed impact. On the one hand, it brings money into the local economy. Tour companies organize expeditions costing up to €3,750 per person. On the other hand, there is a risk of commercializing traditions. Some operators even promote fake festivals, organized exclusively for tourists, distorting the meaning of Girawal. To combat this, organizations like Culture Road Travel prioritize partnerships with Wodaabe leaders, ensuring that ceremonies retain their original purpose. Music and choreography, the language of the desert. The Yake dance is not just movement, it's geography in motion. Wavy lines mimic the dunes of the Sahara. Rhythmic jumps resemble the gallop of the zebu, sacred animals. As one of the dance masters explains, "We dance the land we walk on and the cattle that feed us." The songs, repetitive and melancholic, speak of love and longing. Participants sometimes consume a hallucinogenic drink made from fermented bark to endure the hours of movement. It's not just physical endurance, it's the transmission of tegel, a quality that combines grace, humor, and confidence. Comparison with other cultures, universal patterns. Anthropologists find reflections of universal patterns of human behavior in Girawal. Many cultures have courtship rituals, but few so explicitly reverse gender roles. Comparison with other pastoral societies shows the uniqueness of the Wodaabe system. While most pastoral cultures are patrilineal and patriarchal, the Wodaabe give women significant power in choosing partners. Symbolism and deeper meanings. Every element of Girawal is imbued with symbolism. When men roll their eyes during the dance, it's not just a demonstration of the whites of their eyes. It's a symbolic act of seeing the invisible, a connection with protective spirits. Makeup is created in secret. Men help each other create patterns that reflect clans and personal history. Preparing the decorations is a ritual in itself. Each bead in the necklaces is carefully chosen for its symbolic meaning. Today, the Wodaabe are balancing preserving traditions and adapting to modernity. Armed conflicts and recurring droughts threaten the continuity of the festival. Between 2012 and 2018, it was canceled due to instability. Climate change is also affecting the nomadic lifestyle. Traditional pastures are drying up, forcing tribes to seek new migration routes. Young people are increasingly moving to cities, which threatens the transmission of cultural knowledge. Media attention and cultural diplomacy. Coverage in media such as National Geographic and documentaries by director Werner Herzog have turned Girawal into a cultural icon. This global attention helps preserve the tradition as the Wodaabe realize the international value of their heritage. Such visibility motivates younger generations to keep the tradition alive. The Wodaabe understand their festival is not just a local ceremony, but a window into an alternative model of human relationships. Ethical aspects of research and tourism. Studying the Wodaabe raises important ethical questions. How can researchers study a culture without influencing it? How can tourists observe traditions without turning them into a spectacle? Organizations like Last Places champion ethical tourism, reinvesting a portion of their profits into community projects, wells, education, strengthening the resilience of the nomads in the face of climate change. Garawal as a bridge between worlds. Ultimately, Garawal is more than just a festival. It's a bridge between the past and the present, where trade and tourism, when managed respectfully, can support a people dancing against oblivion. For travelers seeking authenticity, Garawal offers a rare glimpse into an untouched culture. But visiting requires respect. Bring a gift. Sugar or tea are appreciated. Avoid intrusive photographs, and remember, here, beauty isn't seen, it's felt. The Wodaabe continue to live by the principle, as long as there's sun and pasture, we'll dance. And in their dance is a message to the world that human relationships can be built on beauty, mutual respect, and freedom of choice, even in the harshest conditions on the planet. In the desert, where survival depends on unity, the Wodaabe have created a society where individual beauty serves the collective good, where traditions adapt to modernity, and where ancient rituals continue to shape the future.